priests or ministers or presidents or, whatever you want to call that, but there's always a ruling class, that rule the sheeple, and it always has, even in Egypt, the ancient times.
And it boils down to the money, the banking, the money behind it. Because without the money, none of these people would have any power.
Exactly. Without the money, they have no power.
Right.
The money allows them to, own every television broadcast and station and all the press and all the news and information that you hear. That's the power of their money and what they can do.
And like now they're trying to convince us to go back to war with Afghanistan because some wars are breaking out, between their classes in Afghanistan. I mean, right, because there's a lot of government projects that are the people in the government have personal connections to that are businesses behind, who makes the guns, who makes the bullets, who does all these reconstructions.
So they own all the corporations.
So they own all the corporations, and so regardless of what side you're on, it's a benefit for them, to have a war. It's financially feasible. It's a financial benefit. Plus, it brings down the population, and it makes everyone who's fighting the war feel, strong and powerful.
It basically fulfills their agenda because population control. We're whacking innocent people in a country we have no business being in. We're killing our own soldiers. That's population control. They're profiting from both sides of the war. All those companies and corporations that they created, like Halliburton with, Cheney, everyone is profiting. They're creating billions and billions and billions in profit when they could take just 1/100th of what they're spending on war and stop starvation in the world.
And you don't mind people making profits, but then again, they're bankrupting America. So
we're going bankrupt right now.
So that's why you had to get pulled over because they don't have enough money for the police
to pay their 5 officers.
They have to give tickets. I mean, it's just a vicious cycle of insanity.
Yeah.
And we keep going around this route, but sooner or later we're going to wake up because there's just too much insanity to go around to justify it. And so the person who doesn't believe it, just look in your own backyard and see insanity.
We got some love though. The same guy that he didn't believe 9/11 was an inside job, and that's awesome. It's your opinion. But you do believe the war in Iraq is wrong. I mean, there you have it. That's one powerful thing right there. Now look more into why we are going to war right now. What's the justification behind it? Do you really believe in terrorism? Do you think terrorism is one of America's biggest threats that we should go to war and bankrupt our country over? I want to know what you think. You said no. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, we don't need any more wars, and so we don't want. But I mean, I don't think it's going to be up to us whether we go to war or not, because it's already set in stone that the generals and the people that advise the president that it'll look like a dangerous situation. Something will happen in your own backyard, and it'll be like, oh my God, we need to go to war. You need to kill off these people over there because they're coming here to kill us.
Bullshit.
And that's where you have to be careful, because I thought that about 9/11 too. A very dear friend of mine, her son is in the fire department that lost over 300 firemen. And it was devastating until this day. They're still grieving the loss of those fire people. And the bottom line is they didn't have good communication. And do they have good communication today? No, because it isn't feasible to have good communication, because they're going to want to do another terrorist attack within our own country to make another war somehow.
Divide us.
Yeah.
The same technique Hitler used. He staged an attack on his own capital, the same way, they chose something of significance, like the biggest buildings, in New York, Twin Towers, and then just so happens another tower happens to fall down that never got struck by a plane. And then you seen at the government, what was the place called where the missile, it wasn't a plane, but it was a missile, went into their wall or whatever, at the Pentagon?
The Pentagon, yeah.
That's common sense. I mean, no debris from a plane after a crash. We know it was a missile, so why has the government got to continue to lie to us and say it was a plane? We know damn right there was no one even inside the planes at 9/11. That was all propaganda. Those terrorists that were so-called the hijackers were never in the plane. They're still alive to this day. Research that. That's striking. So it's like, why do they got to continue to lie and lie and lie? And then you find out everything they say is a lie. And then look at why. Why are they lying? What's the agenda they're trying to cover up? That's when the intelligence really comes in. And that's something you really got to see for yourself, because there's no way we would personally believe it unless we experienced it through the knowledge of our own journey.
Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the things that our government learned a lot from those ETs, and lie.
Yes, from
They
EV.
became experts from EV. Just lie, and if that doesn't work, cover up with another lie, and cover up with another lie, and keep changing your agendas, so that nobody really knows. And we're all stuck in how we're going to make a living, how we're going to pay our bills, one day to the other. This is a lot to think about. And so, we want to have a government to protect us so we can go about our daily lives and feel safe. But that's not what the government is doing for us.
I don't oppose the government. I oppose the secret government that works and operates in secrecy and controls the government. I'm opposed to the same secret societies that John F. Kennedy was opposed to, where they talked about in his speeches. Our opinions are no different than JFK's. I oppose secret societies. I don't think elites should meet in secrecy, such as the Bilderbergers, and decide what's going to go on in our economy behind everyone's back. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm against.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely, because they're up to no good if we can't be out in the open. So it's not going to benefit us anyway, or anybody.
Right.
And we don't want to hurt anyone else for other people's agenda. If you want peace, you don't go to war. If you want peace, you become peaceful.
Right.
And that's the only way it works. But obviously, we're still back in the Stone Age with the third dimensional animal nature of the people running our government. They might as well be the Planet of the Apes,
Right.
That's the same
See,
thing.
I'm really hoping the elites, the real people behind the political structure in these secret societies, I'm hoping their consciousness upgrades. Because we're talking about consciousness evolving, let's the freaking elite evil, the bad, the negative, they're the ones that need their consciousness upgraded, not us.
Right.
I mean, as much as we do, it'd be great if we just had real leaders,
Right. But it's going to be a little difficult if you're attached to a lot of material things. So that's
never going to happen.
The problem.
Fact,
and they live in a world that's sort of bizarre.
Demonic.
Yeah. So and all the symbols and everything play a role in them. And even though they're rich and powerful, they have this society here where they're accountable to each other. Well, it's sort of in prison with these ideas about each other too.
Right.
I don't think it's so easy to break out of something like that. If you
because you got to understand.
Kennedy and his father was involved.
Right. These elite people don't wake up in the morning and say, "I'm a bad guy. Let's see how much bad or evil I can do today." These people wake up doing good in their opinion because they're misled. They believe in Satan or Lucifer, the morning star. They believe, Satan, God was trying to deceive Satan, and Satan was wiser, was more intelligent, and tricked God. And Satan is the intelligent one that should, that we should follow, because they tricked God into, the whole story with, from the Garden of Eden.